everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this cute little succulent stamping nail set. So I am starting off with a couple of pastel colors. This Apres light green color called Tea Leaf, I have used it so much. It's honestly like the best pastel green. I've used it so often. It's such a great color. I love it. So I'm starting off with this pink from Vettsy. This one was not a very pigmented, well, it's a pigmented color, but you can see it's quite sheer. I actually ended up doing 3 layers of this pink gel on the nails just to get the color pigment to be as bold as possible, especially in comparison to this purple from Nail Order and then the green gel from Apres. Those were so pigmented that I think I even only did 1 coat for each of those because the color was just so strong, whereas the pink one from Vettsy was just a little bit more sheer and needed to be built up a little bit. And then for this nail over here, I am using some of the gel from Vettsy over here, this shade called Melt It. And before curing it, I am just going to pour over this glitter over here. I feel like I haven't used my glitters or any of my glitzy things in a while, and I wanted to pull that back out. And this pink and green glitter mix over here just felt like it would be the perfect combination for this nail set over here. So now moving on to the 3 nails that are going to be in the center of the set, I'm using these little flakies. They're kind of like this like pinkishy rose gold color, and I'm just kind of scattering them around, trying to make it look random. I'm not doing anything too difficult here. I'm literally just tapping the flakes onto the dispersion layer that was left behind after curing these gel polishes in the lamp, and just doing a little random scattering of the flakes. And then I'm going to be stamping on top of it, so I want to do a matte top coat, to keep the flakes in place so that they don't get in the way while I'm stamping, and also I like stamping on a matte surface. And because the flakes were loose sitting on top of the nails, I am just wiping off my brush before putting it back into the bottle because I don't want any of like the loose flakes to get stuck on the brush and then end up putting it in my matte top coat. That would be annoying if it ever ended up on a different nail design that I didn't want to have flakes on. So I'm using this stamping plate from Clear Jelly Stampers in collaboration with Selena Ryden, and I showed you the stamping colors that I'm using. I thought it was just so cute. I love succulents. I plan on having like a little succulent garden on my porch at some point. I have to put it together, and it's not a project for this summer because I just moved. We actually just bought our first place, so that's a big step, and definitely not in the place to start investing in plants right now. And you know, we're starting to slowly inch into autumn, so I don't know if now is the right time to do planting. Let me know. Do you actually know when the best time to start a succulent garden is? Is there a good time or a bad time? I know certain things are supposed to be planted in certain seasons. Like I think tulips are meant to be like planted in like early winter, or is it like late fall or something, so that they can sprout by spring? I'm not sure. I don't really know the ins and outs, but I love succulents. I think they're so cute. And for this one over here, you can see I kind of did the black gel, and I didn't like how it looked. It looked like on the card that comes with the stamping plate that gives you like different inspirations and color designs, it looked like they had it in black, and I didn't actually, so I thought I was gonna just like copy it, and I thought it would look cool, but it was too dark. I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up actually pulling out this darker green shade. I didn't have it initially, so I just went and grabbed that, and I thought that that would be a little bit brighter. The black just felt a little bit too aggressive for this set over here. And then the spikes and like the little like detailing over here, I did in this light green color, but it was so light, and this green stamping polish is a little bit sheer, so I actually ended up just doing 2 layers of it. I just did a second layer and stamped it right on top of the previous one so that the color would just be a little bit brighter, because I was just kind of following the stamping plate. They showed like a darker base with lighter little spikies, so I wanted to follow that. I thought it would be cute. And then moving on to this last one over here, just doing this cute little pink succulent. It's so cute. It's like sitting in a little pot. I think it's really adorable. Stamping is just a super easy and fun way to get interesting nail designs. And I'll be honest, like I struggled a little bit, especially with this one over here, getting the placement right with like the succulent and then placing down the like initial stripe layer before putting down the outline over here. It was really hard for me to actually get it lined up, so stamping definitely has its challenges, and I'm definitely not a pro, but eventually I got it right and I had everything layered properly. And then after I did the initial layers of stamping and the initial images I wanted to place down, I wanted to add in a bit more detail and a bit more green to the set. So I just went in and used some of the smaller different little images over here and just using like a one layer image and not doing anything too dramatic or too detailed, just adding a little bit more color and tying the whole set together, making sure that each of the nails has a little bit of color going on and multiple different colors so that everything feels cohesive. So this was like the fun part. Stamping down single images is a lot of fun and it doesn't require too much work. I love the layered stamping. Sometimes I can struggle with it, which is totally normal. Like if you're struggling with stamping or anything like that, you know, everything has its own challenge, and you know, the more you practice, the easier it gets at it. But definitely when I stamp down these like single images or things that have like a very simple design, like that first cactus I did was literally just like the inside and then the outline, and it was like 2 steps and you couldn't do it wrong, and that was like really easy. It's the ones that get a little bit more complicated where you have to like get the placing correct that can sometimes be a little bit more frustrating. But overall this was super easy, nothing too complicated. It's just about taking your time, layering up your stamping images the right way, and then just placing it down. There's nothing too complicated about it, and I think the little flakies in the background definitely add to the design itself as well. And then I wanted to do one of the nails with some gems and a little bit of some fun sparkle. Like I said, I feel like I haven't used a lot of my sparkles and glitters and gems and charms in a long time, so I just wanted to add a little bit of that. I thought it would add some fun texture to the nail. And also I'm going to be doing this set in matte, so I feel like doing because I like how stamping looks in matte. I think it's really cool, especially with the flakes in the background. So with the stamping nails being matte, but then having like the 2 border nails, like the 2 outside nails, one of them being like a textured glitter, and then this one over here having the little rhinestones and the flower details, I feel like it just adds a really cool contrast and just adds some interesting design to the nail to have like that juxtaposition of like textured glitter sparkle with the matte nails. I think it's a lot of fun and just add some visual interest to the set. So I just finished up with this nail over here, and like I said, I went in with a matte top coat. Here is the final set. I think it's super cute. I'm still getting back into the rhythm of doing the nails and videoing and filming and everything, and my camera setup is still not exactly how I wanted. I actually am going to have a whole new setup soon, as soon as I can build my new furniture up. So anyway, let me know what you think of the set down below, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!